Hello and welcome to this December daily for days 7 and 8. This is Barbara from Vienna, Austria. I have found some Christmassy fabrics in my stash which I have inherited from my mom. My mom used to sew quite a lot, so I thankfully kept some of her beautiful fabrics. And I thought, since I have Christmassy fabrics, I definitely need to include them in my winter journal or December daily journal, whatever you want to call it. So in this episode, I will be using some fabrics in both of these days' spreads. So I'm starting off with this one, and I'm going to use that as a backside of a postcard we're going to be writing to Santa. And this beautiful vellum piece was in the last subscription box from Your Creative Studio, from the November box. I will link the unboxing of that down below in case you missed it and are interested in seeing all the goodies. So I am backing this first with some red cardstock so that you can really see what's on the vellum. And then on the back side of that red cardstock, I'm going to be just sewing on some of this beautiful Christmassy fabric. So I'm just marking it with some tailor's chalk, I think it's called, and tearing at those points to just be a tiny bit bigger than the red card so that it peeks out a little bit. So now I'm just using some glue to make sure that it stays in place while I sew around the edges. And then I'm going to clip on this piece of vellum so that everything stays in place. So I just went around it with a wonky stitch 3 times, using both a straight and a zigzag stitch. And now I'm using a white gel pen to write my letter to Santa. So I'm saying it's from Barbara to Santa. And I'm writing, "May everyone be filled with loving kindness. May everyone be safe from inner and outer dangers. May they be healthy in body and mind. May they find peace and be happy. Thank you." So that is my letter to Santa. And next we of course need an envelope to put this letter in. So I found, first we're going to look at a prompt, because I remember there was a prompt about a letter. So number 10, decorate an envelope and put a secret message inside, glue into your journal. So I'm kind of doing that. So I have my secret, in quotes, letter, and I'm using this paper, which is kind of like, I guess, closest to onion skin. This was a paper that was in a vintage photo album, which was like always between the photo pages. So I tore all those out because those are great to use. And now I'm making a very, very simple envelope just by folding one piece up and then this flap down. And then I'm going to sew around it with my machine. But of course you don't have to do that. You can just glue around it, just the same. But I like this sewing theme and I love sewing in my journal. And now I have this Christmas stamp set. I got this last year, so I'm afraid I don't remember where I got it from. And I'm actually going to try to emboss this one stamp, which says "Peace on Earth, warmest wishes, winter wonderlands." And I'm using some gold embossing powder. I don't emboss a lot, but I think the effect on vellum is really stunning, especially with gold. So sometimes I will actually do this, and I've done it in some of my journals that I have sold. So that's what it looks like first, without the heat gun. and I love watching the transformation of it, like when it liquidates and turns into this beautiful gold. It's like magic every time, I feel. So now I'm just putting my letter inside. So that's the one side. And then looking at the back side, it was quite plain, so I decided it needed a label for Santa. And I'm using my clickable alphabet stamps here. And I'm going to write for Santa on it with my espresso ink. And I'm just using the same red cardstock that I had as a backing for my card. Just going to trim that down. And then I'm going to back it with this same fabric, just a little piece around this little label, just to give it another accent. And I'm again going to stitch around that. I'm using a green thread, by the way, but again, you don't have to do that, you could just glue it. And now I'm going to take my 3-in-1 glue and glue it onto this envelope. So now I'm looking for a page in my book where I would like to have that, and I'm just going to clip it on with a cute paper clip. I bought these locally at a clothes store. Actually, they had it at the cash register. And I think they're very cute and very suitable for this page with the envelope. And then I realized I forgot to put the date again. So I'm using these beautiful stamps. These were in another Your Creative Studio box. I don't remember which one at the moment. It's a couple months ago. And I put the number 7 there, and I'm also going to emboss it with this gold because I love the look of that. I was just getting rid of some of the powder that's stuck on there. So there you see, nice and shiny, the 6. And yeah, then I'm putting it in my book again. And then I realized it's the wrong date, that it was already December 7th. So there wasn't an easy way to change the 6 on this one, so I decided to cheat a little bit and go back to my actual December 6th spread and change that date on that one to December 7th. So I'm just stamping on one of the original book pages and distressing that, and I'm just going to glue that right over the other date, and no one will ever know that the 2 days are switched, and a year from now when I look at this, I won't know and I won't care, so it's totally fine. So moving on to the next day, December 8th, we're checking out another prompt. Make a collage on a whole page in your journal. So my intention was to make a collage. It turned out a little bit differently. Because sometimes, you know, these pages get a life of their own, which I love so much when that happens, because I think then you're really in the flow. So I chose this beautiful card that I don't know where I got it from. It was in my box. And I wanted to use that, and I wanted to use some more fabric in the background. So I am again kind of framing the picture with this fabric. And this is actually a strip that you can use to attach to a tag or something, so I'm definitely keeping that. So I'm just gluing that on with my 3-in-1 glue. And then the idea was to choose some background papers for my collage. So I wanted to use this Night Before Christmas paper pad that I had gotten really cheap at a craft fair in October. And I just got it because it was that cheap, which I shouldn't have, because there's no point in buying something cheap and then you're not gonna use it. So that's why I'm kind of trying to use it, and because a lot of these papers are not my style, but I thought I'd give it a try for December daily. And I'm choosing some that I thought would be nice as a collaged background. So there's, I think, 4 different ones or 3 different ones that I chose. And then I started off with this one, and I loved this one so much that I decided to only use this one and use it on the whole page. So out goes my idea for the collage. And so I'm of course inking up the edges, and I also forgot to ink up the edges of the Santa card, but thankfully I was still able to do that. And now I am actually again going to write some more wishes for Santa, or actually not wishes. This is actually another prompt that I forgot to show on camera. Let me first tell you what I'm writing. I'm writing, "Dear Santa, please take away any fears, anxiety, sadness, grief, and doubt, and replace them with hopes, dreams, happiness, joy, and faith." So there is a prompt from Maud, which is number 12, write about what you want to leave behind in 2019. So that is what I used there. And I'm sorry I forgot to show that one. And I'm using this stripy cardstock as a background for those wishes, just to make it stand out a little bit more. And again, just gluing that on with a 3-in-1 glue. As always, I have that linked below in my affiliate links in case you need some. I love it because it just doesn't, it's not wavy. Like, it doesn't make your paper wavy. It's not wavy. And lastly, I'm going to glue that onto the page. And nope, one more step. I again almost forgot the date. So this time I get it right, and it's December 8th. I'm using again the same stamps from your creative studio. I'm linking their subscription boxes below in case you're interested in subscribing. I think they do 3-month subscriptions. And I'm using my Plum archival ink to stamp that, and that is very cute up there. And that is the second spread. So very quick one today. Please check out Irit's December dailies. We are alternating our days, so you have one to watch almost every day of the week. So hope you get on it with your December daily. Keep it up. You'll love it when you can look back on it. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.